Hey guys, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna decorate this wall to become sort of like a meditation space for my newly wedded wife and for myself, of course. Um, and we're gonna use some laminate flooring from Home Depot that I'm gonna show you later on. The only thing that we prepared for this wall is that we removed the telephone outlet, which we don't use, we don't need. So we are just gonna cover it up, and then we will use these two outlets, perhaps paint them later on as we see it. But this is basically just a simple wall that we're going to decorate. So the laminate flooring that we're going to use is the Traffic Master Allure, and the color is a khaki oak that you can buy from Home Depot. We had this in stock, so it was very easy to pick it up. It's kind of like a weathered oak look to it. It's got a little bit of a texture, so it looks pretty real. We'll see whether we can just glue it on or we will need to use some screws, but the screws should look pretty good with this wood. They suggested this adhesive and of course the tool to apply the adhesive. The dog is optional. And we've got a ruler, and this is actually 4/16 of an inch of thickness. Apparently you're not meant to put laminate floors wall to wall, so we're going to use this as the guide on the sides, on each side of the wall, to leave that gap, and then we're going to cover it with the matching cover plate. So really there's not much to prepare here. As we're going to be gluing these planks, we want to protect the floor, so we just repurposed a queen mattress bag and used some painter's tape to tape it to the wall, so we can just easily remove it, obviously making sure that we are not covering this edge where the planks are going. Like I said before, I took off the telephone outlet, which I mean, who uses telephones in 2017, right? What else do we have here? We've got a plank here where we can cut with a knife, and we're gonna get the work started. As the texture of these boards are very similar, we kind of separated them into sort of major groups, if you'd like. But this particular board structure is not very repetitive, so what we wanted to avoid is that just having the same planks over and over again next to each other. Oh, hey Ernie. So as you can see, that's sort of like a dark brown and lighter brown, even lighter brown, and then this is like almost got a yellowish sand kind of tint to it. So we'll be alternating these to make it a uniform look. All right, so we already put one up, so we've got the experience here. So what we're gonna do is we just grab a little piece of glue, adhesive, sort of wipe it on the plank. And then we're just gonna make sure that enough areas are covered. To make it stick to the wall. And we've already got a piece of cloth to make sure that when the material seeps through the pieces, we can cover that. So we just make sure we line them up properly and just push them together. And the other way this ruler is helpful is to make sure that the edges are aligned. so that everything will be nice and straight in the end. And that's about it. Now that the wall is complete, I wanted to walk you through a couple of things that we learned during the process, maybe to help you out a little bit. One of the things that you could clearly see in the time lapse is the outlet. Obviously, there's many ways to do this. We chose to just cut a piece of almost matching block of the vinyl, and then I just kind of wiggled it in. And then put on a plate. Obviously you can paint the plate to whatever color matches the wall. So if we went with like a dark gray or dark brown, I think that would work out really well. And whilst you can really see the block from this distance, when you look at the wall in its entirety, you don't actually notice these things because it's not perfect, right? We went for a sort of weathered, sort of reclaimed wood feel, and so this works. It's not perfect, but it's okay. The other thing that we highlighted in the beginning is that we left a little bit of gap, and obviously this gap is sometimes a little longer, sometimes shorter. It doesn't matter. What's gonna happen is we're gonna get the matching side trim from Home Depot, and we're gonna glue it on. We're gonna do a 45 cut in the at the corner, and we're gonna just basically frame the wall. And we initially wanted it to be in the bottom as well, but I think we're gonna leave it as is. What else really? One of the good things that we noticed is that because we used vinyl instead of hardwood, it was actually very easy to cut on the wall, to break it. It was just very easy to work with it. But on the other hand, it's not as straight, it's not as precise as perhaps hardwood would be. So you can see sometimes you will see that there's little pieces of gap, which is because of the alignment of the vinyl. If you worked with hardwood, you're likely that they will click together, so it's easier to put it on the wall. It probably would have been maybe 2 hours instead of 4. The negative stuff around the hardwood is that you will need a saw, ideally like a table saw, to cut it when you get into an outlet or when you're finishing it off. And one thing about finishing it off is Pergo recommends that you start from top to bottom. So we could have done that. So we could have started with normal height planks on the top, and then finish it all the way down to the bottom, and then attach the white trim to the wall. So you wouldn't have to, you could see at the end of the video, I had to like shuffle in little pieces of sort of, you know, precisely cut pieces on the top. And of course this will be covered by the trim piece. So it's not going to be that visible, but if you want like a perfect finish, I would recommend that you put the trim piece on the wall, the white trim piece, after the work is done. And then obviously you need to nail it, caulk it, and then paint it white or the color of your choice. But we are very happy with this. And then you will see it in the next part. We're going to take this a little further, make some shelves and some decorations around it, and it's going to be our meditation space. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon.